Hey everyone, it's time for another adventure. Now, I actually started this adventure yesterday, which would have been Saturday. The plan is I'm headed up to Kansas. I'm going to explore around a few days, and then I'm going to end up back at the rendezvous in the Ozarks, one of my favorite events every year. But I've taken a week off, going to explore around, have some fun, see some things. Now, I actually started this trip yesterday. I got a late start because I ended up adding a brake controller to the Subaru, wiring a 7-pin onto the trailer, getting things ready. It took later than expected. I didn't leave till about noon. By the time I stopped at Walmart, shopped around, spent too many dollars, spent too much time. You know, it was like 3 o'clock. And then by the time I got up here to find camp, I just basically shot up to northeast Oklahoma. Yeah. And the camp I was going to, got there, it was just too crowded, too full. Tried a secondary place. It was a little too hillbilly and ran down for me, and that's saying something. I'm not gonna say where, don't want to offend nobody. But ended up backtracking a little bit to where I was originally gonna go, but I had changed my mind and stayed at Call Lake. I was in the Osage Cove campground, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll correct it on the screen here. But gorgeous lake, nice campground. It's a shame they shut down in the winter. I hate these Corps of Engineer Lake winter shutdown crap, because I'd be going back there like this winter. But anyways, future trip there. But yeah, great campsite, loved it. I had power and all that, used AC and stuff last night. Just wanted to sleep, watched a little YouTube, went to bed. So today is the start of the adventure. I am in Pawhuska right now, stopped at this Casey's to get some fuel, and I'm gonna head to Kansas. Now I'm doing roughly, or maybe all, of the Flint Hills adventure route. There is a possibility that I will detour off of that a little bit, because there's also the Flint Hills Adventure Tour that's in the area. Similar roads, similar stuff. But the goal is to do mainly the Flint Hills Adventure route that goes north to south through this area. Should take a few days with me taking time, taking pictures, camping and all that. We'll see how long it takes. And then at some point around Wednesday, I'll head to the Ozarks. If not sooner, depending on when I get done. But it's an all new area to me. Don't really know what to expect other than a few pictures and stuff I've seen. From what I can gather, most of this Flint Hills Adventure Tour is kind of like some of my back road routes. Should be pretty easy to do. Should be pretty scenic in places. And overall, a good time. So from here at Pawhuska, let's head north, cross into Kansas, and pick up the route. So I'm like 30 seconds into Kansas and already loving this little, what I would consider ghost town of Elgin. Check this out. Elgin State Bank. You've got brick roadways. I mean, the vault's even still in this bank. How cool is that? Man, just a few minutes into Kansas, and it's pretty cool. Now I know this is going to be one of those things where after the fact I'll look up and there'll be something cool I missed in this town, some history about this place, but pretty cool. Pretty cool. Lots of old buildings and stuff for sure. Man, I'm only a few miles into this trail, route, whatever you want to call it. Whoever said Kansas don't have nothing is wrong, because this has been awesome. I mean, and some things I'll find interesting that maybe others won't. But I have backed up so many times to get pictures. It's going to take me a while to run this route. I mean, I'm driving here just on the side of the road, and check this out. Like, an old Hart's Mill. Millstones. Oh wow, look at the view. I don't find any snakes. I mean, look at this. I could have flown right past this little marker sign thing, you know, where there used to be a mill. I would have missed this gorgeous overlook. Like, slow down, enjoy the world. Enjoy your backyard, you know, stuff like this. People are like, no, go to Colorado, go to Moab, go to Utah, do all this cool stuff. That's cool and all, but I want to go where other people haven't been. Something like this. Like, how many people do I know have been to this? None. And I find this very interesting. Now, I'm sure, you know, some of the locals, this is probably nothing to them because they see it every day. But for people like me, this is so cool. You got some history, you got some views, like, just awesome stuff. You know, when I'm out exploring these back roads, one of my favorite things to see is some of these old farmhouses. You know, a lot of them just tell the story of generation after generation and how this used to be a homestead. And a lot of them are going abandoned as people move towards the cities and stuff. But if you look around out here, you can still find some good stuff. I stopped here to take a picture with the minimum maintenance road sign. Found my first trail damage. Got a wire hanging down. So I'm gonna see if I got some zip ties in here and fix that real quick. Is about 6 o'clock. I almost made it to Teeter Rock today, but it's getting late enough that I don't know what the roads are between there and where I plan on camping today. I got to a spot where it was basically 7 miles to blacktop to a main highway, and then about 30 miles to town where I can get fuel, and then like 5-10 minutes to the camp spot I was choosing for the night. So I went ahead and punted, headed to the blacktop. That way maybe I can get there before sunset, try to get some sunset pictures. I just didn't want to be rolling in this terrain at dark, not knowing what it is, and something happened, you know, getting low on fuel anyways. Might as well head in, call it a day. I've covered like 200 and something miles total. Most of it's been off on some pretty rough roads, honestly. I don't know if I would bring my trailer if I come back. However, Subaru's done well, the trailer's done well, except for a few wires that keep getting caught because all the brush and stuff I'm driving through, because these roads aren't traveled very much. I'm gonna pick back up. I'm gonna backtrack tomorrow and pick back up exactly where I left off so I can cover every mile of the route. Well, every mile with the exception of some of the towns. I haven't been following their route because it goes on the edge of town, and I want to drive through the towns and see what's there. But basically I'm doing all of it. But anyways, I'm gonna head to get fuel. Depending on what they have to eat at whatever gas station is there, I may get something for the evening. I'm not really that hungry and I don't really want to cook. It's been a great day though. This route has impressed me, honestly. There's not been a single section that I wouldn't come back and do again. I like it all. And it's something that basically any SUV, any all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive vehicle can do. If you know what you're doing, you could do it in a two-wheel drive, like car or something, but it's gonna be pretty tough. A pickup, SUV, anything like that, you're probably fine. It's a bit much to pull a trailer like this. But otherwise, it's been a fun day. I'm tired, I'm dirty. Camper's dirty inside and out. At least the galley is. I'll go over that later. But just had to get some fuel and head towards camp. Probably not gonna film much because, you know, I'm driving on blacktop and you don't really care to see that. But I'll check back in with you here in a minute when I make it to camp. Good morning. I didn't film much last night because I got here and I just went to bed, honestly. I was tired. Didn't cook, didn't eat, didn't do nothing. Peaceful night. Had a few fishers show up in the middle of the night, but that wasn't an issue. I was in the camper sleeping anyways. Other than waking up knowing they were here, no problems. Now this morning, I woke up. Check out that sunrise. Gorgeous. How cool is that? Let's get a photo of this bad boy. Man, so awesome waking up out here in these places. Got a little bit of fog, steam rolling off the water. Colorful sunrise. Birds chirping. And my messy camp. But overall, good night. A little chilly this morning. It's 48 right now. And if I'm gonna stay outside, I'm gonna have to get a hoodie on. But I'm not staying outside. I'm gonna hop in the car here in a minute. Quick pack up. Hit the road and pick up where I left off. But I had to just take a minute and enjoy the sunrise. Man, that's gorgeous. Excited for another fun day. Pretty epic colors. I will say, if you stay at this campground there's a little bit of noise. There's some train tracks somewhere nearby. And honestly, I'd sleep right through it if it wasn't for the horns. They're far enough, but they're still close enough you hear it. I'm a pretty heavy sleeper, so I can sleep through a lot. But like when I'm awake, I can hear the horns. And then there's a little bit of highway traffic nearby here. But like not bad, not a main highway. It may just be a county road that's pretty popular, I don't know. But overall, good option. Gorgeous lakes. I'll try to get to another state lake tonight for camp. Kansas got some pretty cool options. These state lakes are actually pretty nice with bathrooms and all that. A lot different than the Oklahoma WMAs I'm used to. But definitely a pretty morning out here. We get packed up, hit the road. Well, I picked back up where I left off yesterday and made it out here to Teeter Rock. Man, it is gorgeous out here. Just seeing these rolling hills, the rock. It's been an awesome place for sunset, sunrise. I mean, you can see for miles and miles. I'll have to get the other camera and throw in some footage from some zoom. That's gorgeous. Cool find. Obviously this creek bed's basically dry right now, but man, this would be an awesome spot when there's some water. Even today, having the colors in the trees, the rocks. Man, this is Kansas. I would have never thought of this. Awesome, awesome stuff. So cool that they took the time to support these walls and keep it standing a little bit longer for people to enjoy. It's part of why I like exploring and finding this stuff is, you know, this stuff don't last. This stuff falls down, you know, things disappear every year, unfortunately. And you lose a lot of history over time, so pretty cool still having this around. It looked like they're building a new museum center thing there, and there was a sacred red rock, and looking online, looked like it got moved from in town to back out here. They were doing a ceremony and stuff there. There was a bunch of people there, so I didn't stop today. However, if you do come explore this area, that might be something worth checking out. It looks like they've spent a lot of money on the project. It's a neat little area, you know, some history. I'll have to look up some history on this area and try to put it in the video if I can find some stuff. But things like this intrigue me. You know, there's lots of cool things to find if you just get out there and explore. But I'm getting hungry. Let's go find some food. Not far from a town, so time for some gas and some food and try to figure out where I'm going to end up tonight. Well, I stopped in Council Grove there and hit up a Dairy Queen, because we don't have a lot of those where I'm from. And back on the trail. I scouted out while I was there a couple of possibilities for camping tonight. It's already 3:20. That was a late lunch. I don't eat much supper anyways, because I don't want to cook or nothing. So just kind of been dragging out lunch. But, and roll this up. I'm gonna follow this route. I've got a camp spot marked about 50 miles from here as the crow flies, so back roads, maybe another 100 miles. I don't know. Kind of zigzags through here. Depending on the terrain, that won't be an issue. My goal is to be at camp before dark, because the last few nights have just been right at dark, basically. You know, barely catch the sunset and it's dark. But we'll see. There is a couple camping options nearby here, but it's still early enough. I'd like to push on, because I think if the road terrains stay good, I can finish tomorrow, camp out somewhere, depending on what time I finish, and then head to Arkansas the next day, which would be Wednesday morning. And I think that'll work. I think I'd be happy with that. I'm not gonna lie, there was a little bit today. The trail was pretty, not tough, but just rough enough I had to go slow. And pulling the trailer and stuff, it definitely affects things. I almost called it and said, you know what, just go set up base camp in Arkansas, just get out of here. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you gotta make that call. But I'm here, I'd like to finish the trail, finish the whole route, so I'm gonna push on. There has been a few issues with the trailer. One, the brake line that I put in that crosses the axle that goes, you know, between the brakes, the wire. The rocks keep flying out from under my car, hitting those zip ties, breaking the zip ties, and then the wire falls down. So after several attempts with that, I ended up wrapping it in duct tape to see if maybe the duct tape will be more resistant to the impacts. So we'll see. Also, I'm getting a lot of dust in the trailer. I duct taped up some of the air vents for the air conditioner on the side, thinking that might be creating some of a vacuum to pull dust in. That seems to have helped. But there is a few places around the door seals now I can see, because of that fine dust, I can really see where dust is getting in. So when I get home, I've got some extra foam weather stripping stuff. I might be able to look at that door, both doors, and see if I can get it sealed a little bit better. Now, this is kind of my extreme case. The camper's really not made to go on off-road trips like this. It's made to just kind of get a little bit off-road to camp, but mainly I want to use it as a base camp. So it's not that big of a deal, but it does kind of suck getting all that dust in there. So I'll survive through tonight, maybe tomorrow with the dust situation, just dusting it out when I get to camp. And then I'm going to clean it real good for the rendezvous. But, I mean, I have covered 630 miles of gravel. So that's kind of pushing it, right? But anyways, back on the trail. See what else we can find today. And hopefully get to camp a little earlier. So far today, it's basically been giant views. I mean, just awesome views that the camera don't really pick up. A drone would maybe give you a sense of what's out here, but that just takes a lot of time, so I haven't been flying much. But basically gravel roads that are just rough enough. I'm driving about 10-15 miles an hour with the trailer. Without it, I could probably do 20-25. But I mean, there's big rocks about that big everywhere, so it's kind of rough in places. It's gorgeous. I mean, there hasn't been a single section that I wouldn't come run again. Now, as you can tell from the sounds and vibrations and everything, it is a little rough. Man, these rolling hills are awesome. They're gorgeous. The colors are changing. It's a good time of year. And I'm not a bird person, so I wouldn't know a red bird from a blue bird, basically. but I have seen more birds on this trip than I probably have in my entire life combined. They are everywhere. Made it up here to Manhattan, Kansas. I'm gonna stop the route here and head up to a lake. I think it's Pottawatomie County Lake, something number 2. I don't know. I'll correct myself in a little bit. But anyways, 20 minutes, 11 miles or so, according to the GPS. It's about 6 o'clock, so a little earlier than I have been getting to camp. But still, definitely more ground to cover than I expect. Definitely a slower pace. Been a great day. As you can tell, there's a ton of historic houses. Even stuff that people are still living in, some that are being run down, barns and stuff. Just gorgeous 2-story. I guess, I don't know if it would be Victorian houses. I'm not all up on all the real estate and stuff, but cool old houses. I know that much. You know, farmhouses where multiple families and generations grew up, and cool stuff. But anyways, heading through Manhattan. Gonna set up camp. Probably won't cook, probably won't do a whole lot of filming like I have been, because that's kind of the purpose of this particular trip, is just covering miles. I mean, I'm beating myself down to cover these miles, I'm not gonna lie, but that's the goal. And then the goal of the next section of the trip, when I'm at the rendezvous, is chill, see some scenic stuff, cook at camp, just base camp it. So 2 totally different styles, 2 totally different videos, but good time getting out exploring. But I'm excited, finishing up day 2 here in Kansas. It looks like it'll be day 3, and then I'll finish and head to the Ozarks. We'll see what time I finish again tomorrow. I don't know. If it's early enough, I might head to the Ozarks. If it's late enough, I'll just stay up here. Head to the Ozarks the next day. I'm in no hurry, really. I don't have to be there till Friday, but I'd like to be there Wednesday, you know, before it actually starts. But head to camp, get camp set up for the night. So I'm on the edge of Manhattan, Kansas, and it is 72 degrees degrees outside, and it's a cold 72. Like with the windows down, I almost need my hoodie. Like when I get out, I'm probably gonna put my hoodie on. So it's gonna be a chilly night tonight. But fixing to pull up to the lake here. It is Pottawatomie County Lake number 2. Oh wow, turkeys. So got quite a bit of cloud cover, so there may not be some great sunsets, but hoping to at least find somewhere good to camp for the night. At least somewhere free and quiet. Or at least free, maybe quiet. We're close enough to town, you don't know who's gonna be out here. But as you can see, a little cloud cover. Might end up with some pretty awesome sunsets. We're already getting some cool colors. But let's pull in here, check out the lake, and see what it's like. Well, fixing to set up camp. Found a pretty good spot, but before I set up camp, I wanted to show you kind of what I'm dealing with dust-wise. It's all this real fine road dust. Look at all that. Inside is actually not as bad today. I'm not even sure. Let me look here. I mean, you can see some here, but I'm not sure if it's any worse than yesterday. I think taping up this vent helped back here. However, on the inside here, you can see here where a towel was. That's how much dust is on everything in here. And I even took the towels, that's why there was a towel there, and I kind of tucked it in down here. You can see how much dust. It's that powdery stuff. Now, I'm just going to dust it out a little bit to get through tonight. And then whenever I make it down to Arkansas, I'll pull everything out. Wipe it down good and clean, because it'll be set up base camp from there. But judging by the dust, there's little spots like there. It's getting past the seal. I assume most of it's down here, getting past the seal, because that's where the majority of it is. And probably the same on both sides. You don't really see much up there, but get this fan on. Get it blowing air out the doors. And shake out some of this stuff. But I'm going to shake out some of this. I'll check back in with you here in a minute. It was a peaceful night at camp, even for being so close to a big city. These state fishing lakes are becoming my favorite place to camp in Kansas. I'll have to come back and check more of them out. Well, I stopped off at McDonald's to get some breakfast, and I'm gonna head the road and pick back up where I left off yesterday. Try to get an earlier start because I'm gonna try to finish today. So let's hit the road. Absolutely gorgeous. When I passed by this the first time, part of me wanted to just keep going so I can finish the day. Just hurry, push it. But the other part of me told me to go back. And I'm totally glad I did, because this is just awesome. You know, when you get those feelings, go back and look. It's just, what a stunning place. Especially today. You got the colors are popping. Quick, easy hike down here. I mean, this is Kansas. Who would have thought? Definitely ranks up there as one of my favorite finds for this trip. Pretty cool. And unexpected. I didn't even have this marked on my map as something I wanted to check out, because all it said was whatever crossing. And I just assumed it was a water crossing. But it's epic. Good find. Good find. Let's hit the road and continue on. Barn here is crumbling down, but I can see how the road got its name. It's Stone Barn Road. Wonder how old that thing is. How long it took them to build it. How cool is that? Today's been a pretty good day on the trail. Lots of cool finds. Just barely even got started. Cool, you can see wooden roof shingles that were covered up by tin. Pretty cool stuff. Man, I think so far out of everywhere I've been, Kansas has the most old historic. You know, there's been cabins, old farmhouses, old stone buildings, just all kinds of old stuff still standing. That's pretty cool. random road closed construction zone led me this way and found a stone bridge constructed in 1870. See, sometimes you find cool things by mistake. In this case, the road closed turned into a pretty awesome climb. Totally did not think I'd be hiking today, but I'm here. It's obviously well traveled. Maybe it's worth looking at. You know, it's pretty cool to see something like this, knowing that people stopped here on their way to Oregon and California. You know, I'm on the Oregon Trail. I'm not gonna drink the water though, because I don't want to die of dysentery. But man, cool stuff. There's a lot more to this park to hike and stuff. If I had more time, I'd explore a little bit. I need to explore, getting a little big anyways. But do some hiking in the Ozarks. But it's like 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that. So, should be able to finish pretty easily today. And then I'll change directions, head towards Arkansas, find somewhere to camp, somewhere halfway along the way, and then resume in the morning. Good times, good times. coming up on the last few turns now of the Flint Hills Adventure route. It's been a lot of miles, especially with the detours and extra stops I added along the way. It's been some rough miles, it's been some pretty rough terrain, especially to be driving a Subaru pulling a trailer. But it's pretty cool to accomplish something like this. You know, whatever your goals are, whether they're big, they're small, accomplishing something and checking that off is pretty awesome. It's an awesome feeling. You know, here I am taking a car that's not really made for this, pulling a trailer that's not at all made for this, just has been modded, and explored Kansas and seen a lot of cool parts of Kansas. Hoping there's some Nebraska signage or something here when I cross over, but I doubt it. I'll just know on my GPS. Driving on the Kansas and Nebraska line now. And this is it. This is the end of the line. Pretty cool adventure. From here, I'm gonna head down towards Arkansas. I'll find somewhere to camp along the way. That'll be another video. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. It's been a blast. Covered a lot of miles, seen a lot of cool things, accomplished a goal of mine. Explored a whole new state, a whole new area, lots of cool history. Been a great time. As always, if you like this video, like, subscribe, give me a comment, stuff like that. And be sure and stay tuned for another adventure. This is fun. And remember, now's the time to explore. Get out there. As always, there's still another mile left to explore. I'll see you on the trail. Thanks for watching another video, and be sure to stay tuned for the next part of this adventure when I head to Arkansas for the rendezvous in the Ozarks.